Alright, so this is Khamakhone, guys. If you have any questions, he'll be taking over the presentation from now on. You can ask any questions that you have in your mind. Just keep in mind, if your questions are being missed, don't take it the wrong way. We have a huge list of questions coming up, and even if your questions are missed during the course of the seminar, in the end, we have a Q&A session where all your questions will be addressed. Alright, so over to KK.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Vishnu, for this energetic introduction. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure that I can match the energy of Vishnu, but I'll try my level best. Thank you, Vishnu. And okay, guys. Before we get started, I'd just like to understand what is your expectation from today's seminar. What would you like to know from today's seminar? Please, great importance of European universities, target GRE score, some popular universities and the admission criteria, how to shortlist university, computer science MS from Canada, okay, GRE requirement about the US universities. Okay, how many of you are looking for US universities? How many of you are looking for which country you are looking for? Okay, US, Canada, US, Germany, US, Europe. Okay, US, Canada. Still good. So most of you are still looking for universities in US. Okay, I think this seminar and the university is predominantly for US. Okay, but the topics on how to shortlist and how to verify how to choose the right university can be common for each Canada or Germany or for any country. But some of the topics are very predominantly for the US. Okay, so I'll definitely have a couple of seminars for Canada and Europe, but we'll make sure that this seminar is more about US and how do you tackle that. I think most of you are looking for Germany or Europe. This seminar will help you in such a way that you'll be able to shortlist the right list of universities. Okay, so can we get started with today's seminar? Right. Okay, this is what we'll see. What is a profile? Okay, why it's important to select universities according to your profile, and how should you shortlist university for profile and 10 most popular courses in US to be considered. Universities to be considered. Okay, so you guys are able to see the screen. The bar test. Okay, can you guys read it? Let me know once you read the paragraph here. During the visit to mental asylum, a man asked the director, how do you determine whether a person should be admitted or not? Okay, and the director said, we'll fill up a bathtub, then we offer them a spoon, a teaspoon, a teacup, and a bucket to the patient and ask him or her to empty the bathtub. Okay, so let's imagine that you are a person who has asked a question, and can you guys tell me what would you choose? Would you choose a teaspoon or a teacup or a bucket? How do you empty it? Bucket. Tarun says something different. Okay. Varsha, so great. Mostly you're saying bucket. Anushree says something else. Okay, good. Which option? Teaspoon, teacup, bucket. Which one? Oh, you have to empty the tub. What would you choose? Right. Okay. None of the answers are correct here. Okay, we don't usually. There's a knob or a plug. The bathtub will have a plug and just remove the plug in the bathtub to drain the water. Okay, why did you guys think about draining the bathtub? Only few of you thought, Tarun and Anishi. Some of you thought we have to pull the plug for the water to be drained. But most of you said bucket because bucket is a bigger option where you can get a lot of water at one point of time and you can pour it out. So why didn't you think of the plug? The option was not given, it was not mentioned. Right, so most of you see, okay, correct, the option was not mentioned here. Okay, how this particular test is relevant for today's seminar, how this particular question is relevant, can some of you tell me? How this is very very intact with today's seminar. Arpit says thinking sensibly, shortlisting universities. Exactly, Ananya. Ananya is perfect, bang on, and says that it helps us realize options are not visible. Exactly. See, the problem is, if I ask you what are university you want to apply, you tell me the university which you know. That doesn't mean that the other set of university which you actually don't know are actually not good. It doesn't mean that. Okay, it actually means that you're not familiar with all the other options. Your point, your view, even if you're looking at Germany or Canada or US, you should know about the university. You should know what kind of universities are there, what are the types of courses are there, how do you choose the right course, the right university. Okay, so just don't look at the options in front of you. Okay, you have to completely research. You have to understand the different options. You can build your own option. You can't just say, yeah, these are the options I saw. This is what I'm choosing. No, you have to research. You have to understand. You have to make sense of what actually is right for you using a profile. Correct? Can we go forward? Right. So what is a profile? So can you guys tell me what is a profile? What according to you is a profile? Resume, okay. GRE, right. TOEFL, good. SOP, academics, paper publications, CV, GPA, TOEFL, absolutely right. So, okay, I think even working professional forgot that working professional, apart from Satish is the first one to say work experience. Right, so you have to see about your GRE, TOEFL, your undergrad. See, most of you have left this out, your undergrad, university or college. How many of you believe that undergrad university, where you're actually from, have influence in admissions in the universities? How many of you believe that, yeah, where I'm from actually has influence? How many of you contradict to that? Within USSA perhaps? Okay, Shipra Sen, I'll tell you one thing. Okay, for a fact in Germany, some university very clearly says we'll accept students only from IIT. Okay, so it does make a difference. It does make a difference whether from which university you're from, which undergrad university you're from, or the college you're from. It definitely makes sense. Of course, doesn't mean that you can ask me. So low-ranked students, low-ranked university students have not got into higher-ranked university. Definitely they have gotten. Just that it also plays an important part. Just that you have to make sure that your SOP is great. You have to make sure that other profiles in the area are really good. For example, they do understand that IITs and NITs, Bispilani students are really would have really worked hard to get in. So they know that when they are working hard to get in, they'll definitely be a good standard of education there. So when a university is not clear from the undergrad status, you have to make sure that you clearly explain that in a SOP. Okay, so next thing is LOI, internship work experience, and SOP. Most of you have covered it. Okay, so see, I'll do one thing. I will rush through the slides very fast. Okay, so we'll have an extensive document session. So is it fine with you? Because I can see a lot of questions coming in. I'll rush through the slides in 10-15 minutes fast. Then we'll have an extensive document session. Okay, can I go ahead? I am not getting option. Am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Can you hear me? Right. Okay, good. So see, one thing is that, okay, I want a very interactive seminar, so please have your doubts ready. We'll definitely make sure we'll have 1 or 2 doubts clear during the session, but at the end of the session, I'll make sure I answer all your doubts. Okay, going forward. Right, why profile evaluation is important? Why do you think profile evaluation is important? Okay, see, right, absolutely right. You have to know your options in front. For example, if I ask you a question, guys, can you tell me what's your dream university? What exactly is your dream university? Harvard, Cornell, CMU, UCB, Stanford, Purdue, Ivy Leagues, KU, Georgia Tech, Penn State, UCLA, ETH, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, I suppose, okay? CMU, MIT, Dream, Caltech is Dream, okay? Mostly, not too many people say Caltech, Darshini, but yeah, Caltech is really good. Understand? Okay. How many of you honestly think that they'll reach your dream university? Not see, realistically speaking, I think I have an 80% chance, 90%. How many of you are thinking like that? Okay, some of you are saying yes, 80%, 65%. Some of you are saying no, not me. Okay, depending on my GI score, 70% chance. Okay, good. Okay, so you do have an understanding that you can reach or not reach, but doesn't mean that just because you don't reach a dream university that you're not going to get into the right set of universities. Absolutely not. You do can get into a good set of universities, just that you have to understand where you really stand, evaluate yourself, understand realistically where your options are, then based on it you have to go for. If you go, if you see the slides below when I'm going to present it, I'm not including any of the top university. You know why? These are the most of the university which you will have in mind, because the top university are the ones which you have in mind. So most probably you would have done a research to understand what is the requirement. But even though we have selected some top 10, no, not, I wouldn't say top 10, 10 most popular universities among our students to show it to you. We can also have a very extensive talking session on Stanford, Harvard, during the session, but we'll get started with this. Okay, but see, I'll tell you a technique what we do. We use in admission costing. What actually is needed to short? Can you guys tell me what actually is needed for you to shortlist a university? What all do you need? What all do you need in order to shortlist a university? Course availability is a good for my specific course. Okay. Good research and background, right? What else? What else? What else? Come on, fast, fast, fast. Come on, guys. Okay, scholarship, department ranking, universities expectation, where do we stand, what do you want to do in future, courses in main aspect, an awesome project, fees is also priority. Okay, return on investment. Okay, you guys are thinking how to choose a university. I'm asking how do you shortlist them? There's a very slight difference there. Okay, I've chosen a university. How do you shortlist on the university which you have chosen? How do you filter down and apply to them? Return on investment is fine, Ari, but you have, okay, I think most of you are missing a single point here, which I'll communicate in this next slide. Okay, these are prerequisites which we are talking about. Okay, your academics, number of internship, number of paper publication, your undergrad ranking, your self of knowing what is going to happen, number of projects, your SOP, GI score, work experience, LOR, TOEFL score. This we have seen. Okay, but okay, so if you're looking for top 10 university, okay, or if you're looking for guys, can you hear me? Right. Okay. How many of you thought actually who has gotten with my similar profile last year? Okay. I want to get into CMU. Let's see how many of my previous seniors have gotten. How many of your friends have gotten? How many of my friends have gotten in where they have gotten? How many of you have seen what kind of profiles usually get into a university? How many of you have seen that? Admission rate not seen. See, that's the only issue. See, I have various examples here. I've been seeing this for the trend for last couple of years. Every year, the university will take a admission. How they want to proceed, how they want to see an admission totally different. Okay, for for an example, some university might take an for some university might take one point saying that, hey, this year I have a lot of funding, so let's be liberal in getting more masters or PhD students. Some university will say, hey, this year we have a lot of already PhD students, so what we can do, we can restrict the number of PhD, maybe include more 1 or 2 master students. So that is how they will be thinking every year. So there's a huge gap on how they think, we won't know, okay, on that particular area. But what we know is, what is the pattern? Is there a similarity of getting it? Where is the similarity? How do you analyze the pattern here? How do you analyze and say, hey, that's a good choice for me? That is when you have to see your whole data. That is when you have to go back and see the university usually gives an admit for whom. Okay, if you go to the university website, you will know that, what's the average GRE score, what's the TOEFL score. But okay, I have met my average GRE in TOEFL. Doesn't mean that I'll get an admit. May or may not. But what to be done? Okay, that you'll know only when you go back and see the profiles. For example, how many of you know that Arizona State focuses on GPA? Okay, Arizona focuses on GPA, and a GPA of having 8. Okay, so if you're not seeing that, and if you're having a 7.5 and applying, there's a good chance that's a reject, because Arizona always has a method of filtering out students with less than 8 GPA. But still, there are 1 or 2 students who have gotten with low GPA also because of the score. Their importance is GPA, not GRE. Okay, similar to Dallas, they also focus on GPA, not GRE. But there are students who have gotten with 305 into Arizona, with 315 to Arizona also, but with 320 and low GPA, they have still got the check. So you have to know the nuances. You have to know the university in and out before you apply. You see, nothing wrong in applying. Just that you'll be spending a lot of money in applying. So you have to know the differences in applying. Am I going too fast? Okay. Diplo says I'm going too fast. Fast, slow. Should I reduce the speed? Diplo just trying to going fast to finish off the slides. A little fast says on the Okay. Okay. I'll try slowing down. Okay. Let me know whether I'm slowing down. Naturally, I'm fast. Okay. So, okay. So, right. So, I was talking about, okay, Arizona State. Okay. We won't know. That's what happens. One of our students asked me, how should I know the information? See, one thing is, you have to be in the business to know that it's been happening for some while, or you have to keep a track. Okay, you have to keep a track of your seniors, talk to them, networking. If you want to have a long time period, if you have time on hand, talk to your seniors, see where they are going, talk to your seniors' friends, network on Facebook. This is one way to understand what the university is and how do you get it. Okay, so that can be done. Right. So fall 18 popular courses, we'll see computer science, mechanical, electronics, civil, and MIS. Okay. So we'll see CMU. Okay. Mostly number 2, top 10, top 15 universities for most of the department. Okay. So CMU is good for computer engineering, electrical, civil, or mechanical. So how many of you see? Some of you said CMU you want to get in. I'll tell you a trick. Okay. If you want to get into CMU, if you want to get into CMU for business analytics or MIS program, there's an easier chance if you get in, but it's quite on the expensive side. For a 1-year program, it might cost anywhere from $70,000 to $90,000. But again, if you have a 3-4 years experience and a good CGPA and a decent university or firm, there's a good chance you get into a CMU for business analytics or a MIS program. Okay. So there's a chance that, but the score of GRE, if it's more than 315, that's really good. But you should apply much earlier. Have a very, very strong SOP. That's very important for CME. Okay. So see, even the acceptance rate is 22%. If you see for a course wise, okay, most of you told me that you want to get into Harvard, Stanford. Which course would you like to go in? Yes, Avik, that's what we do. We, apart from GRE, we also do admission costing. Embedded system, education. Okay, Ananya, education, I think you have come for the last seminar. So you see, education is a very niche area. Not too many students go for it. I think you have to have a personalized call with a student welfare officer. Ethical hacking, cybersecurity. See again, you have to understand the cybersecurity or ethical hacking. Not the top university may not be good at. For example, there's a DePaul University. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you heard about DePaul. Anyone heard of DePaul? Okay, I've really heard that the networking course is really good over there. Networking and cybersecurity. So what you have to do is you have to keep your ears open. You have to see what is happening around. You have to see what is being given, what kind of admins have been processed. So yes, that's a very, very tricky part of knowing all this, but still that's a secret of doing shortlisting. You have to know your data. You have to know your previous data. But doesn't mean that the same pattern can be followed by the university. pattern will change, but at least you know the range of the pattern, what will happen, what might happen. Okay. So see, this is one of our students. If you see his CGPA is 8.05, and TOEFL is 103. He actually is in MIS program in CMU for a 1-year program. Okay, so the CMU focuses on work experience. Even though he had only 1.2 years of work experience, but he was working in Deloitte, there was a better chance of getting in. Okay, so you have to understand how to improve profile. How many of you are working professionally? Most of you from Vishnu's poll, I saw that most of you are a working professional and been working for a couple of years. So when you're focusing on that, and if you're focusing on business analytics program, I think you have a very options left. Okay, if you have a very good GI score, you can still go ahead and apply for it. Okay, Purdue. Few of you said Purdue is a dream university. Okay. Civil engineering ranks really good for civil engineering, mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering, but in top 6 to top 10 universities. But most of the courses, you will see overall the ranking, it can be anywhere from 20, ranking from 20 to 25 the university will be. Okay, but every year the ranking changes, every year the department changes. If you personally ask me, should I go back on, should I depend more on ranking? I wouldn't say so. How many of you guys depend on ranking? How many of you think that ranking is accurate? I will follow definitely ranking. Okay, Jan 15 to October 15 is the deadline, guys. Okay, see, ranking ranking is for me is a benchmark. I won't say it's a main criteria in shortlisting, because ranking is ranking is actually biased, if you ask me. See, either you should have all the universities in rank, or you can't leave out the universities in rank. Most of the ranking system doesn't have all the universities. They just have university which they participated, and most of them is slightly more biased, because the person who ranks them, if they are from the same university, they rank their university better than other universities. So there's always a slightly more biased way of looking at ranking, but definitely you can use it as a benchmark on categorizing your university. Right. Okay, the next one. We'll see. Okay, not many of you said Tamu College Station. Why did most of you say Tamu College Station? Tamu is really good for aerospace. Okay, Tamu is also good for mechanical. Okay, see, you guys, I'll give you one more technique, one more trick, or one more secret, whatever you can say that as. Okay, US especially is very geographically development area. If you are looking at Texas, it means that there's more mechanical oriented industry. California is more let's say, of course, IT and computer science and electrical industry. If we go slightly in the middle, okay, Colorado is still mechanical industry because there's a lot of mining happening. Okay, if you go to Nevada, still lot of mining happening, so mechanical industry university. If you go to Michigan, Wisconsin, mostly Michigan is where you get into mechanical. Wisconsin is very electrical industries. That New York is more financial based. Washington is more mix of electrical, bio, and all the fields. So every state has a demand. For the demand, the universities create the courses. Okay, that is why they have been more central focused on the state rather than the centrally focused on the US itself. So what the state wants, that's what the university is providing them. That is a main reason why the universities are being started. So when you are looking at your courses also, don't just go behind and say, yeah, I have to get into California. Hey, California will be good for computer science and electrical. How is good for mechanical, civil, bio? So there will be areas which are good and which is paying you equivalently. So you have to check those options also. Okay, so Yash is asking how many credits per semester. It depends on the time period, Yash. Okay, for example, some university will ask you to do at least 9 credits in a semester. Some of you will give you the freedom of choosing 6 to 9. So it totally depends on you. Sometimes most of students do a 12 credit course. Okay, 4 credits or 3 into 3 and 1 4. Something similar to that they'll be doing. Okay, let me finish off my slides. I know that I have a lot of options coming in. Please be patient. Questions coming in. Please be patient. I'll definitely clear during the end of the session. Okay. So Southern California, USC, again, quite on the expensive side. If you see more California, most of the university are expensive. Okay. So tuition. How many of you really wanted to get into USC? I'll tell you a trick for it. How many of you really want to get into USA? Okay, so most of you are going to get into USA. USA will look into strongly into your academics, also strongly look into your GRE and your SOP. Okay, so having a very strong SOP will definitely help you for USA. So make sure you start writing your SOP much earlier than what you're thinking of. If you're planning to apply in December, have your SOP ready by November 1st week or 2nd week. That's what my advice would be. I'm sorry, I think per semester, exactly, Yash, is $29,000 not for per semester, it's not for per credit, for per semester. Okay, again, one of the students have gone, okay, to USA with 319 score. Usually with a 320 score, you can definitely try to USA. If you want a USA, try for a score of 320, 322. You can usually get in there. Okay, so NIT, 2 years of Mahindra, industrial design and into mechanical engineering. So USC is also good for mechanical, apart from computer science, also good for mechanical. Okay, so if you see your Arizona State is industrial engineering, computer science, and if you're really good in your mechanical, you can definitely try it over here. But yeah, they look into your GPA. GPA is very important. Okay, most of the deadlines are in December, January for fall, and for spring it is mostly in July to August. If you plan for settlement abroad, which country is better, US or Canada? US is better in terms of job opportunities. Okay, next course is Sunny Buffalo. Okay, many of you haven't spoken about Sunny, but most of you end up in Sunny. How many of you usually that's what the trend is, because Sunny is really good in terms of research opportunities. Sunny is really good. If you're looking at more research, you can look at this option as okay, but you have to go back, check the university you apply, see the professor you are working under, and based on it. I'll give you one more tip here or technique. Okay, if you are able to see, you have some 8-9 months which can do enough time for you to do a research, maybe 6 months. Go back, spend time, understand which professor is doing what research in your area of interest, and include that in your SOP. That will mean that hey, this guy has read about USC. He also knows the research work, and he also tells us why this is important for him. So your SOP and more, and having a strong profile can be built now. Okay, so start building your profile right now. Don't wait for some more time. Okay, Dallas. There's two more universities before you go for a doubting session. Dallas, of course. See, Dallas is becoming very strict recently. If you look at the whole data, okay, for last like 2014, 13, the students with 305 easily have gotten to Dallas. But 15, 16, 17, we had students with 308, 310, 312 are finding it slightly more difficult to get in because the competition is increasing day by day to Dallas. Okay, now Dallas is not that benchmarking industry. Dallas is right now better. They have been doing research. They have been publicizing about the research quite often, which is gaining more importance in what is happening in US. Okay, Dallas is of course mini India. Okay, a lot of Indians are there. If you're looking for opportunities, even though there are a lot of Indians, there are still opportunities are there because it's one of the biggest schools in US. Okay, I think this particular university, you may not have seen this. Okay, how many of you have seen Clemson? I want to Clemson or having Clemson. See, I would say mechanical is one of the niche courses here. We have focus. If you're focusing on mechanical and computer science, I think really good here. But for Clemson, getting into Clemson, you have to be a bit more tricky. Your SOP should be really strong. Apart from SOP, you have to shortlist university much earlier and apply to them earlier. Okay, when you apply to them earlier, it doesn't mean that you have a better chance of it. It means that they'll process the application faster. When you process it, you get a decision much earlier. Okay, so Syracuse. See, this is one particular course, one particular university in New York where people feel that hey, it's quite expensive. Why should I go? But this is one of the university which gives lot of funding. For example, some of our students get 20%, 30% tuition fee, which brings the fees, overall fees, slightly lower than the state fees itself. Okay, so that in that way, this university is better. Okay, in RIT, even Rochester Institute, all the IQs, they gave a lot of funding. So when people are looking at funding, some of you ask me full funding. See, for masters, full funding is slightly more difficult. Just that you have to have enough credentials in your profile. Your profile should be really, really strong, research oriented in order to get a full funding. Okay, so you start building on a profile and start shortlisting parallelly, because you have to, you see, some students think, okay, let me ask a question to you. How many of you actually think, hey, right now I don't want to shortlist university, I'll focus on my GRE, I shortlist university after my GRE? How many of you are thinking like this, friend? As it says, me after GRE, yeah, that's the plan. Okay, I'm just waiting for others to reply. How many of you thinking that let me shortlist universities after GRE? Georgia says both. Okay, one mistake you guys are doing is that you are just plainly looking at the score of 320 and aiming for it. You guys are not thinking what should be individual quant or verbal score should be. What university will expect what score. You should know that. Only then you can set a target. For example, many of you said that my dream university is CMA Harvard. What is the GI score needed? How do you want to get in? And if you see Harvard is not that reputed for engineering courses. Okay, so you have to be very careful in choosing or telling about the courses and universities. You have to do research. Just because our name is out there everywhere, you can't say that I'll go here. You have to have a configuration. You have to show that in your SOP. Okay, I think this is the last university here before going to the doubtlaying session. Okay, so one thing is South Florida. Okay, many of you may not. How many of you honestly have heard about the university? Okay, only few of you have heard about the universities, not much. Okay, not aiming, not me. Okay, how many of you know that South Florida University is really good for MIS program? Okay, how many of you know that there have been bulk students who have been who have got admitted into better university, have dropped it and got into University of South Florida? You know the reason why? The coursework is really good over there. So because of the coursework, the MIS is getting really reputed over there, and because of that, the university getting reputation for last few years. Usually with even 300, 302, people are getting in. Right now, 308, 306, 305 is the condition. Okay, the average score is shifting by 3 points. That means that they are getting in better profiles, they are choosing better profiles. Okay, so choosing the university is really important, and how do you want to do it is you have to start doing this much earlier. Right, one more session, one more slide before going to doubtlaying session. Just one more slide before going to doubtlaying session. Okay, what should you consider when you're shortlisting universities? Okay, you have to see what are the courses they are offering. Okay, you have to see the rank of university to set a benchmark, not as a constraint where you have to shortlist. Then faculty profile is really important. That it will help you in getting an internship. It will help you in getting funding or choosing the right university. And then there's internship option, there's a placement option, international student population and accommodation. Okay, there's one question here. Why should I look at international student population? Why should I see the international student population? Can you guys tell me why? Right. I'm not able to guess any reservations. No reservations. More acceptance. No, why should I say? See, when you see an international population, students population, it means that there are a lot of students who have been studying there for continuously, and our previous seniors have been trusting the university, not just applying to a random university and not having a right way. See, when people are choosing, when there are a lot more international students are choosing, it means that a lot of research work happening. When there's a lot of research work, it means there's a lot of funding. When there's a lot of funding, you are going to get benefited. So always have a look at what's the international population, how it is being, what's the international population size in the university. You should always look into that. Okay. Okay, please email to student.welfare@grh.com. Preference will be given to student with feedback. I'm just kidding. Preference will be given to all, but feedback will be highly appreciated in the email, so they know that I'm also working here. I'm just kidding, guys. Okay, long day, long talk. So I'm coming to the end of the day. If you have any questions anytime, I think I'll have a couple of more sessions, vision planning for a few more sessions with me. So maybe with coming months, I'll have more interaction with you guys. Okay. Can I leave? Can you guys promise me that you'll send feedback along with your questions to the ID? Oh, great. Thank you guys. Wonderful. We'll see you very shortly in the next seminar. Good night. Bye-bye.